Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Hola, namaste. Today we are going to be looking at two ways of trapping the black queen with the center game. So what's the center game? Let's jump right into it. It starts with e4, e5, d4, takes, we take back with the queen, knight c6, which is a very logical move. We move the queen to a4, knight f6 with the idea of attacking this e4 pawn. So you're going to defend it by knight c3 and d5, which is probably not the strongest move in this position, but I mean it seems logical because you're attacking the e4 pawn twice now. Here you're going to play bishop g5, now pinning this knight, taking away one of the attackers of the e4 square. And in this position, the best move for black is to capture the pawn on e4, because if you don't, then you're just going to give up a free pawn. And now after capturing the pawn, you're going to play knight captures on e4, and it seems though after queen e7 that this knight is pinned, and maybe black can even capture the knight on e4 on the next move. That's exactly what you want black to think, because here you're going to castle. And now as you can see, this f6 knight cannot really capture the knight on e4 because the bishop will gobble up the queen, so you don't want that. But he can play queen captures on e4, and this is where you trick him, because here you're going to play a simple rook d8 check. Now, as you can see, this rook on d8 cannot be captured by this knight on c6 because the queen pins it. At the same time, if the king captures on d8, then now the knight on f6 gets pinned. So the knight on f6 protects the queen, so the next move you're going to capture the queen, and this is going to be completely winning because the king is completely naked out here. There's nothing to do. Next moves, you're going to develop your bishop, the knight is going to come into the game, the rook can come and attack the black king. He cannot castle, so completely winning. Let's see the next variation. Again, the center game, so e4, e5, d4, takes. Now this is called a center gambit. You do not capture the pawn again with the queen. Here you play bishop c4, and you'll see a lot of players playing this queen h4, especially beginners, putting pressure on the e4 pawn as well as the f2 pawn. So you defend both the threats by playing a simple queen e2, and the strongest move out here is bishop b4 check. As you can see, this pawn is pretty strong in this position. So after this check, you're going to push c3. He'll capture, you capture back, and he'll probably go back to c5, and with the idea of putting pressure on this f2 pawn. Now in case white is not careful, if he moves the queen, there can be some checkmating threats as well. Things can get uncomfortable if this f2 pawn falls, so white has to be careful here. The best move here is knight f3, putting pressure on the queen. And now in this position, the best place for the queen is to go back to e7. But let's see if black gets greedy and plays something else. Let's see what happens if he goes to g4. If he goes to g4, then we give a check on f7. If the king captures, well, this is a fork, and he's going to lose the queen, completely winning for white. So probably if he sees this, he may go to f8. If he does this, we're going to play h3. And now as you can see, the queen has no escape squares left, because all these squares are taken by the pawns and the bishop pair and the knight. So he'll have to capture on g2 out here, but then a simple rook h2 traps the queen. So he might try to trick you by playing, say, bishop captures on f2, but here you do not capture with the queen again, because then he'll just trade down into an endgame, and the queens will be off the board. This will not suit white. So you just play a simple rook d1 in this position, and now you transfer the move back to black, and now as you can see, his queen is still trapped, so there's nothing. He'll have to give up the queen either for the knight or for the rook, and completely winning. Again, the king is naked. This is not going to be suitable, so this doesn't work. So let's see what happens if, for example, after knight f3 he goes to h5, which seems like, okay, fine, that's a good square, but it's not, because you're going to give him a poison pawn. Now you're going to give him g4 with the same idea that if he captures on g4, then the same bishop f7 idea which we talked about again works. So the only good square for him after this, if he sees this, is g6. Now if he goes to g6, you're going to again make him uncomfortable by playing knight to e5 with a double attack on the queen and the f7 pawn. So the only logical move in this position is to go to f6, but now you're just going to play knight captures on f7. On the next move, you're going to be capturing the rook. There's no way to defend it, and you will be up an entire piece. If he comes to h6 with the knight, trying to attack this knight, you're just going to gobble up this. He might try to develop and give up some more material by pushing, say, d5, but then you just capture the bishop. Next move, you can even capture the knight in h6 and try to get this knight back. You can castle, and the king is completely lost out here. You're up an entire piece, so this should be completely winning. So yeah, these are the two ways. Either he loses his queen, or you end up being up an entire piece, up a rook. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be making a lot more videos about chess openings and traps in future as well. So please do check it out, and like and subscribe to the channel in case you like the content. It really motivates me, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Thank you.